Here's a number nobody in the financial industry wants you to know. There is a specific dollar amount sitting in your investment account, maybe right now, today, past which every single retirement contribution you make is no longer building your future. It's just padding someone else's business model. I'm going to give you that number, the exact formula, in the next few minutes. But first, I need you to sit with something uncomfortable. What if you've already crossed that line and nobody told you? What if you've been grinding 60-hour weeks, skipping vacations, delaying the career move you actually want, not because you have to, but because you never ran a single calculation that would have told you the grinding was already done? That's not a hypothetical. That's happening to millions of people right now. People making six figures, people with good financial advisors, people with spreadsheets, people who are doing everything right and still operating from a position of financial fear that the math stopped supporting years ago. Today, that ends. By the time this video is over, you'll know your number, what it means, and exactly what to do with it. I want you to picture your retirement as a carriage being pulled up a mountain by two horses. The first horse is you, your paycheck, your 401k contributions, every dollar you manually redirect from spending into investing. In the early years of your financial life, this horse is doing almost everything. Without your income feeding the system, the carriage doesn't move. You are the entire engine. The second horse is compounding. In the beginning, it's barely a pony. You have $30,000 invested. It earns 7%. That's $2,100 that year. Meanwhile, you're manually contributing $15,000. The pony is present, technically, but nobody's depending on it for anything serious. Here's what changes everything. These two horses don't stay equal. One grows stronger every single year. And at a very specific, calculable point on the mountain, the compounding horse becomes powerful enough that even if you, the contribution horse, completely stop pulling, the carriage still reaches the top. It gets there. The math guarantees it. That moment has a name. It's called your coast number. And once you understand what it is and how to calculate it, you will never think about retirement the same way again. Let's make this concrete with actual numbers, because this is where most financial conversations stop being useful. Assume you're contributing $20,000 a year, well above average, and earning 7% annual returns. When your portfolio is at $100,000, compounding generates $7,000 that year. Your $20,000 contribution is doing 74% of the work. You are the engine. Compounding is barely helping. When your portfolio reaches $300,000, compounding generates $21,000. Now you and the market are splitting the load almost 50-50. The pony became a real horse. At $500,000, compounding generates $35,000. Your $20,000 contribution now accounts for only 36% of annual portfolio growth. You've become the supporting character in your own retirement story. At $1 million, compounding generates $70,000. Your contribution represents less than 22% of total growth. The second horse is pulling more than 3 times harder than you are. This is where the phrase, "it gets easier after the first few $100,000 actually comes from. It's not motivation. It's not a manifesto. It's mechanics. Your coast number is the specific portfolio balance today that with 0 future contributions, none, ever again, will compound into your complete retirement target by your chosen retirement date. Here's the formula. 4 steps, 5 minutes. Step 1. Determine your target annual spending in retirement. Be honest, not what you spend now, but what you want your life to cost when you're no longer working. Let's use $65,000. Step 2. Subtract reliable non-portfolio income, primarily Social Security. Use the SSA's online estimator based on your actual earnings history. Let's say $20,000 from Social Security. That means your portfolio needs to generate $45,000 per year. Step 3. Divide by 0.04. This is the 4% rule, the historically safe annual withdrawal rate for a balanced portfolio across a 30-year retirement. $45,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1,125,000. That's your retirement target. Step 4, and this is the step everyone skips. Reverse compound that target back to today. Divide your retirement target by 1.05 raised to the power of years until retirement. The 0.5 is your real return, nominal return minus inflation, historically around 5% for a diversified equity portfolio. If you're 35 and retiring at 65, that's 30 years. 1.05 to the 30th power equals approximately 4.32. So $1,125,000 divided by 4.32 equals roughly $260,000. That's it. That is the coast number for a 35-year-old targeting $65,000 per year in retirement with a modest Social Security benefit. If you are 35 years old and you have $260,000 invested today, your retirement is mathematically secured without another single dollar of contributions, ever. The second horse is strong enough, the carriage will reach the top. Every dollar you contribute from this point forward is optional enrichment, not structural requirement. Let me show you what ignorance of this number actually costs, and I don't mean financially. Consider someone we'll call Priya. She's 38, software engineer, earning $125,000 a year. She started investing at 26, 13 years of disciplined contributions, no major interruptions. Portfolio today, $410,000. She wants to retire at 62. Run the formula. Target spending $60,000. Social Security estimate $22,000. Retirement target $950,000. Divide by 1.05 to the 24th power, approximately 3.22. Coast number, roughly $295,000. Priya has $410,000. She crossed her coast number almost 3 years ago. Her retirement is already guaranteed, and she has nearly 40% more cushion than she needs. But here's what Priya did 2 years ago. She turned down a senior role at a startup she was genuinely excited about. The base salary was lower, the upside was equity. She said no because the financial uncertainty felt too risky. She made that decision from a position of perceived scarcity that the math does not support. She has been making every career and financial decision as though she is one bad month away from disaster, when the numbers say she won years ago. That's what not knowing your coast number costs. Not dollars, decisions. 2 years of professional choices made from the wrong position. That compounds too, just in the wrong direction. Most retirement conversations treat the journey like a single binary. Either you're there or you're not. This framing steals every psychological benefit available along the way. Here's a more honest framework. Level 1 is the crossover point. This is the moment your portfolio's annual dollar return exceeds your annual contribution. At $20,000 per year and 7% growth, this happens around $286,000. This is a psychological milestone. It doesn't mean stop contributing. It means the compounding horse is now doing real work, and you should feel that shift. Most people who've hit this milestone have no idea. They're running with the urgency and anxiety of year 2. That anxiety stopped being useful the day the second horse took over. Level 2 is your coast number. This is the actual line. Above it, you have genuine optionality, possibly for the first time in your adult professional life. You can keep contributing and build a larger buffer. You can take the lower paying, higher meaning role without threatening your retirement. You can negotiate from a position of real indifference. The summit is already guaranteed. Every dollar past this point is a choice, not an obligation. That distinction is real, and it should feel different. Level 3 is full financial independence. This is the traditional FI number, the portfolio that sustains your complete lifestyle on 4% withdrawals indefinitely. The carriage isn't just reaching the top, it's weatherproofed for anything on the way. Most financial planning conversations exist entirely at level 3, as though levels 1 and 2 don't exist. This framing guarantees you'll feel insufficient until the exact final moment, and probably for a decade beyond it. First, calculate your coast number this week, not eventually, this week. Use the formula. Retirement target divided by 1.05 raised to the years until retirement. Write the number down. Literally write it down. If you're below it, your mission is clear. Automate contributions. Don't complicate it. Don't chase yield. Don't time the market. If you're above it, that is the first time in your life you are choosing to contribute rather than needing to. That distinction is real. Second, run a lifestyle audit once a year. Every $10,000 increase in your target annual retirement spending adds $250,000 to your required portfolio under the 4% rule. $250,000 for every $10,000 in annual lifestyle. Every time you significantly upgrade your fixed expenses, bigger house, higher baseline, you are either raising your coast number or pushing it further out. Usually both. Most people track their savings rate carefully and never track the target. Know where the finish line actually is before you keep adding fuel. Third, build your identity before you cross the line. This is the most overlooked piece. If your sense of purpose lives entirely inside income optimization, crossing your coast number creates a vacuum. The math says you can breathe. Your nervous system has never learned how. The fix is practical. Build something outside of work that carries real stakes and generates genuine forward motion before you cross the threshold. A business with real customers, a creative output with a real audience, a commitment you'd be embarrassed to abandon. When that exists before you cross, the crossing feels like graduation. When it doesn't, it can feel like falling. Here's the only thing I want you to remember from this video. At some specific, calculable point, a point you can find in 5 minutes with a phone calculator, more contributions don't buy more retirement. They buy more margin around the result that's already guaranteed. The math of compound growth is almost embarrassingly simple once you see the architecture. A pony becomes a horse. The horse gets stronger. At a specific threshold, the horse is powerful enough to pull the carriage without your help. The difficulty is never the equation. The difficulty is trusting the equation when it's already working in your favor, recognizing when the second horse has taken over, giving yourself permission to act like it has. Know your crossover. Calculate your coast number. Feed the second horse until it's strong enough. Then, and this is the part nobody tells you, recognize when it already is.